All right, the next car is TJ Hunt's 2020 C8 Corvette, twin turbo, 1,500 horsepower with a fully custom Street Hunter wide body kit, which is his own wide body kit. So the thing is like completely one of one, insanely fast. And personally, I think it looks amazing. This is my favorite wide body kit on any of the C8s. What do you guys think? 1 out of 10.
9.9 for me.
I hope you picked uglier YouTuber cars because I feel like we're giving all these.
I'm giving this a 7, dude.
Okay.
Really?
7, maybe a 7.5. Reason why I'm saying that, I honestly don't think it looks that good with the wide body kit. The rear is too wide compared to the front. It looks too wide. It's not proportionate. And there's often times where I see a wide body kit get thrown on a vehicle and it's just like too much. Like Stratman's looked good. This is too wide in my personal opinion. And I don't really like the wing either. It just kind of doesn't look right to me. I'd rather just have a factory one.
The thing I do like about it is it isn't a bolt-on kit. You know, it doesn't have the bolts holding it on. I don't know how it's fastened. It probably has bolts, but I like that it's smooth
from the backside.
Yeah, from
but
the back.
you don't see the rivets.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think that's the one thing that can sometimes make body kits look cheesy. Is it looks like they are bolted onto the outside of a car, which they are.
Agree with that.
I agree that it does look a little bit cheaper. This one looks a little bit more factory.
When I saw it at SEMA, I thought it looked kind of homemade, personally.
Really?
I got nothing against
you
TJ
did
Hunt.
see it in person.
I'm just saying I thought it seemed kind of homemade. Like it looked wonky to me.
I think one thing that it could maybe change, let's say the rear fenders weren't as wide and this was a Z06. I know that would change a lot, but the fenders are already wider on that. I think that would look tasteful, but I think it looks incredible. The color is like amazing for me, but still would change it. The wheels though, the silver like 3-piece, whatever HRE wheels, unreal. That's my favorite part of the car.
I love that silver wheels are coming back. My dream is a black, either matte black or just black car, and then get some really nice polished wheels, kind of like Mike has on a Subaru, the same color.
You already kind of got that with your Hummer, right?
That's true. Yeah, kind of. But I mean, yeah, I think that's such a cool look that went away for a while that I think now should come back.
I agree with that.
I think that TJ ran into a lot of problems with the twin turbo kit on this because the ECU is so hard to unlock or do anything.
Did they ever, or was
actually,
it still
maybe they
piggyback?
didn't even unlock it, but it's so hard to do anything with the C8 platform.
You want to know what's even crazier though is Amelia Hartford. She already twin turboed her fucking Z06.
Yeah, how
C8
does it work?
They don't have it tuned yet, but she slapped them on, started it up, revved it. I was like mind blown. That'll be a crazy car. A Z06 C8 twin turbo.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a Ferrari.
Yeah.
A twin turbo Ferrari. But yeah.
The only turnoff to this car is it's now for sale, and it is for sale for $250,000
for a Corvette. That's not even a Z06.
That's a lot of money.
No way.
A lot of money.
No one's gonna buy that for $250.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody who's maybe a big TJ fan and watched the whole build.
I've thought about that, and I've always wondered, like, do people buy people's cars because of whose they were? God knows they are not buying mine because of I owned it. But, you know, do you want a car? You're like, oh, TJ Hunt owned that. That's really cool. Like, even if The Rock owned a car, I don't think it would make me pay a significant markup to be like, this is The Rock's car. Granted, he has some really cool cars, and I love his
I don't think
Charger.
anybody that has $250,000 to spend on a C8 Stingray Corvette is going to pay extra because a YouTuber such as TJ Hunt owned it prior.
Also,
The Rock, maybe that's cooler. That's a lot cooler, or like a music artist, but I don't think anybody that's got money like that gives a fuck if a YouTuber owned it prior.
Also, do you think anybody with that type of money is buying a car like that? Like, that looks like what a 20-year-old would design a car. And I still think it looks good, but I think like it looks like Stradman's Aventador.
Yeah.
His Aventador, I think, looks better. It looks more proportionate, but I've already said that.
So would you rather have this or a Z06 at the same price?
Z06.
Z06, by far.
100%.
It's a stock Z06.
Yeah.
Probably that.
Yeah, I would go with that too.
Really?
You get you
I
drive
think
that.
It's way cooler than
it's
stock Z06.
Yeah. And keep in mind, 1,500 horse.
Yeah, I did kind of forget about that when I said the Z06, but still, I still think I'd take a Z06 with the different motor. If it was the standard Z06 upgrade where they just supercharged the current engine, it would be closer.
Gotcha. I'd give this thing a 8.8, and the only reason I would give it anything more if it was red. I like red. obviously, because I had a red C8. But
Red would pop.
if it was a red one, I'd probably give it a 9.5. All right, last one. Had to throw into the mix one of our own vehicles. So I did our SEMA truck. It's a 2019 F350 built by Banker at Custom Offsets, specifically for SEMA as a SEMA build. It's on 26-inch rims with 40-inch tires around them, 8-inch coilover lift kit, custom front and rear bumper, powder-coated and paint-matched, pretty much everything underneath it. It's deleted, 5% all around, allegedly. And, of course, train horns. Oh, and the drop hitch.
Oh,
Pretty
love the
amazing.
drop hitch. I got to give this thing a 9.5. I really love this truck. It's not perfect, but it is everything you could ask for out of a show lifted truck. And my favorite colors, too, black and red.
Yeah, I think I'd have to give it like a 9. Actually, maybe a little higher. I don't know, but it's tough. I wouldn't give it a perfect 10 just because it's not a limited or a platinum.
That's
But
right.
I think it is. I mean, it doesn't really get any better in my personal opinion when it comes to lifting up, these
like,
big lifted
bigger
trucks.
isn't
They're
always
all
better,
relatively
yeah.
the same after a certain point. Ride's like not that great, but drive's really good. Just ride's rough. Probably time to send it down the road sooner rather than later.
Ryan?
So badass.
I think it's the perfect mix of like how overstated and loud it is, but yet it's still not ridiculous. Like it doesn't have pinstriping all over it. It's not like a weird color. The black and red is a really nice accent, especially with all the red underneath. I think there's actually spacers on those tires, and I think if you took the spacers out and pulled the wheels in a little more, it would look a little less. When you see it down the road, it's got like this really big, like it looks like you put a smaller truck on top of it because the wheels are so far out. I think it would look a little more proportional from the back or the front.
Okay.
And I think it would also make it not a or driving violation constantly. It would help. And that truck really surprised me because I did not like it from the start, but I came around to it.
How
What do you
about knowing how it drives? What do you guys think about like the driving?
I don't mind
that
it.
you
I
get.
don't mind it at all.
I don't mind it either.
I don't mind the drive. I just don't like how rough it is. Like it starts to get a little bit jarring after a while, at least for me.
I hate how it drives. I absolutely hate
Well, it
it.
doesn't drive itself, Ken. That's probably the biggest problem. Can't scroll.
I don't like how loose the front end is. It feels like I'm driving a 20-year-old truck. It's not what I like.
As a guy who drives a 20-year-old vehicle, that thing seems pretty in line.
Yeah, it's like it's your outlook coming into it because I know it has 2 steering stabilizers on the front. Like what more can you really do? I'm sure there's a little bit more, but like for how it is and how it's set up, I mean it's all pulled out all the stops for it, so I think it drives okay.
I think looks wise, incredible. One of my favorite looking trucks, even seeing all the ones at SEMA. I think this one is well sized where you can actually still drive it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, not a single expense was spared on the vehicle, which is the coolest part about like a company like Custom Offsets. They got the budget to ball out on it and to make like the content. And I'm sure they got a bunch of things for free. So like not a single corner was cut, which is really nice because we looked at a couple other big SEMA trucks, big lifted trucks before we bought this one. And like, you can tell like people that build it try and just maybe cheap out on certain things that they probably shouldn't, where Banker building it was just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
140 grand, I think
we're
is what he
getting it.
said was into this truck.
Wow.
So you can tell it's really high quality. But with that being said, I just personally do not like anything about the truck for usability wise. It just sucks if you actually want to drive it. And you guys must think something else, or maybe I've just driven it more than you guys, but like you can't drive it in a city. You can't like parallel park this thing anywhere. You can barely drive it down the road without
parallel
worrying
parks?
about running somebody over. Every single time that I drove it, I got tickets up the wazoo. I think I had like 15 violations just throughout like a 3-month span of it, getting pulled over 3 times, 5 violations each time. I don't know. I guess I'm just not that into like massive trucks.
I think you just got the tickets and then you just didn't
Got a
like
sour
it.
taste.
It definitely tainted my thoughts on it.
For me, it's just like, it's kind of what you're driving. It's almost like driving our Ram. Our Ram is inconvenient to drive comparatively to your Raptors. Like the Raptor, you whip right in any parking spot, stuff like that. You go drive around, you'd be like, holy shit, this thing's huge. I have to do 5-point turns. Like diesel trucks are difficult to drive, and I just understand that one as to be a more difficult truck to drive. You know you're not getting the close spot at Walmart. You're going to have to park at the end where nobody is on either side of you because the tires take up the whole parking spot. You know, like it's just kind of part of it. And I think that it doesn't suck driving, so that's what makes up for it.
It is completely part of it, and I realize that.
Yeah.
It's just not really worth it.
For you, yeah.
Yeah. And we don't even use it really anymore.
I would take it to town. I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to take the SEMA truck to town. I'm going to go run errands in it. But I'm so nervous about getting pulled over. Like, it's not worth it to me to get a $500 set of tickets just for driving that instead of one of our other legal trucks.
That's kind of where it's at.
It is a work of art, but sometimes works of art need to just stay on the wall.
I don't know. I really don't think we should actually hang it on the wall. I know you were talking about that, but
We hang it on the wall just like the shifter cart.
One hook.
Hang it by one hook. I would actually probably do that. If you guys gave me the okay with now this truck is going to go to the grave like most of the other vehicles in our possession, we're like, all right, let's destroy it or do something like that. I would actually be okay with the company taking the hit for all the money into it if that was where the truck was going to end up.
On the wall?
No, hot take, but like we just run that thing into the ground.
How? How though?
I don't know, just like doing reckless shit with it.
I don't
it'd
think I could do it.
Unfortunately, it's just like Whistling Diesel. He wrecked that Platinum. You can't wreck a truck now without being him.
No, and I don't think we
we should
ever should, because obviously he's done that. But like
You'd have a good time.
I wouldn't have
You'd
any
have-
remorse doing it
Yeah,
to
yeah,
that
yeah.
vehicle. Is what I'm saying.
Got it.